Hey guys! Welcome to my channel. Today I will recap a movie called The Box which was released in 2009. So let's get into it without further delay. So sit back and enjoy this amazing mystery story. It is the year 1976 and in the state of Virginia, the doorbell of a house rings at 5:45 in the morning. Norma and her husband Arthur discuss who it can be and then Norma goes to open the door. She finds a car driving away from their house and a package lying outside the door. She picks it up and brings it back inside where her husband and son Walter are now fully awake. They sit at the dining table and open the mystery box only to find a wooden box with a button enclosed in a glass on it and a note. Norma reads the note out loud, which states that Mr. Stewart will call them at 5 p.m. Norma asks her husband if he knows someone named Stewart, but he says that he never heard of someone with this name. The three of them put the box away and get ready to go to carry on with their usual routines. Norma says goodbye to her son when his bus comes to pick him up, and then after a little chat about who can be this Mr. Stewart, she goes to the school where she teaches. Later Norma is teaching her class when one of the students asks her about her limping. After the student insists very rudely that Norma should show her foot, she takes off her shoes revealing her foot without the toes. Before any other student could make rude comments, the bell rings indicating the end of the class. She gets called into the office after that where the principal tells her that the faculty discount is being cancelled starting the next semester. Norma is very upset after hearing the news and goes to meet her friend. She tells her that they are already struggling financially and the discount being cancelled will make it more difficult. She is worried that Arthur will freak out after hearing about it. Norma comes back home after meeting her friend and is watching TV when the doorbell rings. When she opened the door, she is terrified to find a man with his half-face burned standing there. He introduces himself as Arlington Stewart and says that he hopes they got the box with the button unit inside. He says to Norma that she shouldn't be afraid of his appearance as he is not some monster but just a man with a job to do. Norma finally lets him inside, and after they sit down she asks if he is trying to sell something. Stewart says that he has an offer to make that will be a financial opportunity for them. He pulls out a key and says that the key will open the button unit, and when Norma will press the button, two things will happen. First, someone in the world she doesn't know will die, and second, she will get $1 million. He says that the payment will be tax-free and he will deliver it to her in the form of cash. Stewart opens the suitcase he is holding, showing the stacks of money inside. He gives Norma a bill of $100 saying that it is her gift for letting him in and it is her even if she says no to pressing the button. When Norma asks more questions, to which he says that the offer is real but he can't tell whom he works for. He says that Norma can only tell her about this to her husband and they have 24 hours to think about it, as he will be back at the same time the next day, and if they decide not to press the button he will take it back and offer it to someone else. Meanwhile, Arthur is at NASA where he works as an engineer. His colleagues asked him about Norma's injury, to which he tells them that when she was 17 her brother dropped a barbell on her foot, and when they went to the doctor he left the X-ray machine running and went to check another patient. The radiation from the X-ray machine destroyed the tissues in her 4 toes. After talking to his colleagues he receives a mail, and when he opens it he is shocked to find that his application for an astronaut has been rejected. His fellows call the office to find the reason and learn that he failed in the psychological exam. Arthur is very upset by the news and says that he aced every other test and was counting on it, and now he doesn't know what to do with life. The other tries to cheer him up, saying that there are many great opportunities and he even works as an optics as he was working there before, but Arthur is still very disheartened. When he comes back home Norma is already waiting for him and quickly offers a comforting hug to him. Later Norma tells him about Stewart and what he said about the button. She says that she wanted to ask more questions but he didn't stop for that much time. She says that someone they don't know will die but she doesn't know how. She also tells him that money looked real, and when Arthur asks her about Stewart's appearance she says it is better if he doesn't know because it was horrible. That night they go out to watch a movie, leaving their son Walter with his babysitter Dana. After watching the movie they again discuss Stewart. Norma says that he was very charming and she is sure he would give them all of the money, but Arthur thinks that he was some type of con artist because no one gives money without any strings attached. Norma suggests that maybe he was a crazy person who wants to kill someone and is going to blame them. After listening to Norma, Arthur says that they should contact the police, but Norma stops him, saying that if they told anyone about it the deal will be off. After coming back home Arthur says that he will look into the box and opens it, but there is nothing inside. Arthur says that it is just an empty box and even if they push the button there is no way for Stewart to know that they did that. Norma asks him to put the box back together because Stewart had said that he will reprogram it if they refuse to press the button. Arthur complies with his wife's request even though he thinks that there is nothing to reprogram in the box. Later they keep discussing whether they should press the button or not, and Norma is intrigued by the things they can do if they got the money, while Arthur thinks that they are being victims of some huge prank. The next day when Arthur comes back from the office, he tells Norma that he ran a test and that the bill Stewart gave them is real. Does he say that if they push the button and someone died, will they be able to live with it, as it could be their neighbor or a baby? He asks Norma what she wants to do, but she suddenly presses the button. At the same time, police received a call about someone hearing a gunshot. When they go to the crime scene, they find a woman dead and a little girl hiding in the bathroom. Back at Norma and Arthur's place, Stewart again visits them. He gives them the briefcase full of money. They ask him if someone had and if he is going to continue these tests. Stewart says yes to both questions and goes away. Arthur suddenly feels guilty and runs to give the money back, but Stewart says that the button has been already pushed and goes away, while Arthur notes down his license plate. Norma says that if the game is going to continue and the button will be given to someone they don't know, it means that they can be the ones that will die next. Meanwhile, police declare the murder as a domestic homicide and find that the husband of the victim is Jeffrey and he works at NASA. After a few days, Norma and Arthur are all ready to go to the practice dinner for Norma's brother's wedding. Norma is walking perfectly since she had surgery on her foot. When they reach there, Norma's mother shows her happiness after watching her daughter walk normally again. After Norma's father finishes his speech, he chooses Arthur to select a gift first. Arthur goes to pick up a gift when a waiter signals him to pick up the second present, and then goes back to his seat beside Norma. He opens the present and finds a picture of Stewart when his face was not burned inside. They are a little worried after that, but don't show it. Later, Arthur talks to Norma's father, who works in the police department, and asks him to find out information about the number plate. Soon after that, Norma receives a call from Stewart, who says that her husband contacted the police, and if they didn't want to hurt anyone, they shouldn't have pressed the button. Now trouble has found them, and they can't escape it. He says that the test will continue, and now the only thing they can do is listen to their consciousness and do what it says. Soon after that, Norma and Arthur leave the party when Arthur gets into a fight with the waiter who had signed him to pick the specific gift box. Back at home, Dana asks Walter a lot of questions about Arthur and tricks him into going into the basement, where there is a lot of information about Arthur's work. When Norma and Arthur return home, Norma offers for Arthur to drop Dana off at her house. During the drive, Dana continues to behave weirdly, and when they reach her place, she asks him to go away quickly, saying that he is not safe there. She says there is only one person who can save him now and asks him to look into the mirror. When Arthur comes back home, he tells Norma that the information they have about Dana is wrong, as he saw her driver's license and learned that her name is Sarah and she belongs to Boston, not Richmond, as she had told them. The next day, Norma receives a call from Stewart, who tells her that he is looking at her right now, and she sees a man in her garden. Later, when she goes to the shopping mall with her mother, a woman comes up to her and says that she shouldn't trust anyone, not even her husband, and then she faints. Meanwhile, NASA Chief Martin Teague and Arthur's boss, Norm Cahill, talk about a missing colleague of Cahill, named Arlington Stewart. Martin says that Stewart was killed by lightning and became something else, and shortly after that, NASA received the first photograph from the Viking 1 Mars lander in July 1976. The seemingly paranormal activities continue to happen with Norma and Arthur, and they meet the others who press the button and face the same things. It is revealed that Stewart works with a group of benefactors who use the box to decide if the human race is worth preserving. Their son Walter has been kidnapped, and after some time, Stewart visits them again and informs them that their son is locked in the family bathroom upstairs and has been struck blind and deaf. Stewart says that he had hoped the family would not be greedy for the money and gives them a final test. He says that they can keep the money, but their son will remain disabled, or Arthur can kill Norma and it will cure their son, and the $1 million will be placed into an interest account for Walter when he turns 18. Norma asks Arthur to kill her, but he refuses and instead thinks to kill Stewart. The man says that if he kills him, he will be charged with murder, their son will remain disabled, and the whole family will be ruined. Stewart left after that and eventually realized that they have no other choice. They say goodbye to each other, and Arthur kills Norma just as another couple presses the button, revealing that the game will continue. Thanks for watching the recap. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so you don't miss any content from us. Stay tuned for more thrilling and amazing movies. See you soon. Bye.